Hi, my name is Lisa Sargese, and I'm author of the book, Diary of a Fat Girl, How I Lost 140 Pounds and Learned to Love Myself After Weight Loss Surgery. Today, I stepped on the scale for some reason, and I discovered I was at my lowest weight since having the gastric bypass in 2006. Wow! And I wish I could tell you it was just one thing, because it's not. Weight loss surgery kind of wears off after a while. I can eat normally. So if I'm seeing any changes in my health or my weight, it's going to be because I'm making an effort. But I didn't want this video to be about that. I want this video to be about effort. So I guess I did make a good point. Forcing ourselves. I have been studying motivation and achievement and success habits since I was a teenager, young. I think I read Richard Bach's Illusions when I was 14. I've always been interested in consciousness and spirituality and how we become who we are. What motivates us to do the things we do. And the mind games that happen along the way. I taught Buddhism this morning. See, I'm still in the classroom. And I have my mask here just in case somebody comes through the door. I'll go, pull it up. And sometimes I have terrible imposter syndrome. Meaning I have this idea that I'm not good enough, and anybody who notices that I'm good at something or pays me a compliment, I must have them fooled because surely that's not who I am. And the self-doubt that comes in not believing you're good enough to do the thing you've been doing for 20 years. I've been teaching 20 years. Look on Rate My Professors. The reviews are good. In the beginning they weren't. They said I was boring. I took that very personally. And I improved my teaching methods to be more engaging. So it worked for the benefit of my students. I could have stayed boring. I could just get up in front of the room and read PowerPoints. I don't have to try to be, entertaining and engaging, but it matters to me. The subject matter matters to me. I teach religions of the world. Today was the first day of studying Buddhism and talking about the nature of the mind and the nature of consciousness and how the mind plays tricks on us and how the ego will lead us to either be, think we're better than other people or think we're not good enough. Either way, it's an ego game. And, I get panicked sometimes. I'm like, what if I forget everything I know? Do we do that before we have to take a test or an exam? What if I forget everything I studied? What if we catastrophize? The word catastrophe, catastrophize. We go to worst case scenarios. That's what the mind does. It plays tricks. Well, it tries to prevent us from harm. So imagining worst case scenarios means we're prepared for any scenario and then perhaps devise a strategy to, overcome it. Should it come up, which it rarely does. And I started my mind just started making me doubt my ability to teach Buddhism. I've been doing this a very long time. Where was that coming from? Oh, who cares? Don't overanalyze. Whatever. I'm just going to go forward in faith. I have beautiful PowerPoints. I have movie clips, video clips that I show in class. I could certainly riff, improvise and say things based on the slides or what I'm showing. And I had to talk myself into being okay teaching the thing that I've been teaching for 20 years, that I get good reviews on. And the mind will play tricks on us. It'll try to get us out of the obligation. It'll try to get us out of the uncomfortable situation. Well, it would just be easier to call in sick, or maybe I should get a COVID test. I'll be lucky and it'll be positive. Terrible things like that. Forgive me. I don't mean to joke about a serious thing. But that's what our mind does. Our mind is going to come up with scenarios. How can we avoid this opportunity to be possibly disappointed? And I wish I had a life hack for you, because I love life hacks. I love thought tools. I love skills like that. There is none, at least not for me today. What I did was I just powered through it. Now, the lecture flowed beautifully. I was very happy. They weren't on their phones too much or falling asleep too much. They seemed engaged. A few people asked questions or stayed after class. These are all, indicators that it was a successful lecture, or they made comments, or sometimes it's just a look in their eyes, like you could see they're getting it. I'm satisfied with what I gave. But I almost didn't because of my self-doubt. And, I wish I had the kind of life advice where you say, well, I'm afraid of speaking in public. Well, just picture them all naked. Well, that might give you more anxiety. But you know what I mean. That can work. Things like that can work. Just stop imagining that these people are big and powerful and trying to judge you. They usually aren't. But to develop the inner resources to allow yourself to sink or swim. Somebody trying to get in? I got my mask on, I swear. I powered through it. I forced myself. And that's how I wake up in the morning. The lockdown, I'm speaking, this is 2021. This is October of 2021 that I'm making this video. And we've been 15 days to slow the spread since March of 2020. But the lockdown, ooh boy, that was a potential for disaster for me. A person with depression who doesn't like to keep a schedule, who has an aversion to accomplishment. I forced myself out of bed every morning. Forced myself out of bed. And I still do. And I have some coffee ready if I need that boost. I don't hit snooze. It's not going to be a sound sleep if you hit snooze. Is it ever? Those extra 5 minutes, they won't make a difference. They just prolong your leaping out of bed to accomplish stuff. Force myself. No life hack for that. You just power through it. And once you start powering through things and forcing yourself to do the uncomfortable things, you get better and better at it. Today's forcing myself to power through it and just trust that I have the knowledge, I have the tools, things will be fine. Just do it. Just don't overthink it. Just get in front of the room and everything will be great. And everything was great. I didn't back out. I didn't make excuses. I just powered through it. The more you do that, the better at it you'll be. The easier it will be. You just get better at it. And you learn to trust yourself. And you start maybe thinking, well, the last time I was scared, I powered through it and everything was fine. The last time I doubted that I could take a test, well, I passed. And you get to have more confidence and trust in your own abilities. And you don't let that imposter syndrome and that self-doubt steal your joy, steal your confidence, or steal your day. If I could do it, you could do it. I've suffered great depression and anxiety for many years of my life. And with God's help and the support of loving friends, family, and certain practitioners, I'm doing much better now. 100% cured? No. Are we ever? But doing a lot better. forced myself. Powered through it. And I taught about the mind and how the ego plays tricks on us. And, well, sure enough, we teach best what we most need to learn. So hit that like button, subscribe. It helps me to get the word out. What good is acquiring and accumulating and having wisdom if you can't share it? To pass on knowledge is important to me. That's why I went into the teaching field and not to go study finance and be a millionaire. Oh, I have braces, by the way. It's not dirty teeth. Talk about ego. And check out my book, Diary of a Fat Girl. I'm about to put a meditation recording on Spotify and SoundCloud and a bunch of places, so I'll let you know about that. And go to lisasargese.com and sign up to get email updates. I'll start sending those out soon. And have a wonderful day, being a little bit hard on yourself and patient with yourself when you need to be.